our guest today. Empowering women with knowledge and strategies to navigate these challenges is our mission. So, of course, feel free to engage with us on our social media platforms. Facebook at Spectrum NG, X at Spectrum T Online, and of course, our website at www.spectrumtvonline.com. Reach out to me directly on Facebook, LinkedIn, and X at Best Nwachinemere. Your questions, your musings, your experiences are more than welcome. And now, it is time to introduce our distinguished guest who will enrich our discussion with her experiences and her wisdom. Remember, as I promised you before, she is part of those inspiring women that I mentioned before. Her name is, drumroll, Candy Olatunji, popularly known as Didi Fit. She's a certified health coach, a certified nutritionist, and a weight management expert. And I am so excited to have her with me today on Empower High. Hello, Didi. How are you doing today? You are looking radiant as usual. You have to share with us tips, practical tips on how you achieve this flawless look, because I know that every girl, every woman watching this program right now, they all want to know. So, can you share with us a bit about your journey and what you become a certified health coach and a nutritionist?
Um, I think one of the major things that, first of all, throughout my life, I've been sort of active. I went to a military high school. Um, Throughout my university days, I was always active. But then when I transitioned to the job market, sedentary life took over. It became a lot more harder. I would say that prior to that time, I wasn't doing it consciously. It was just something that I liked to do, like movement, going to the gym, trying to stay active and all of that. So um, when I started working, I didn't have the time to do any of that, or I wasn't conscious about any of that. And then it got to a point where I started to put on a lot of weight. And then it wasn't even the weight that bothered me as much as the what's going on. Can I go ahead?
Yes, please go ahead.
It wasn't the weight that bothered me as much as I had performance issues in that I would climb the staircase because obviously I wasn't mobile at the time. I was taking public transportation and all of that. So we have big bridges in Abuja, and I would climb a flight of bridge and I would be completely out of breath. You know, my house was also upstairs. You know, getting to my house, getting out of my house. It was just not. I didn't like the way my body felt. I felt like I was carrying a log of wood around, and I think that for me was when I made a conscious decision to change the way that I was feeling. I got into fitness and nutrition primarily to improve the way that I was feeling. And then it became a passion what? From becoming a passion, it now kind of became it's still a passion. I would say before it became a business, it was a passion. And then obviously I started to help everybody around me to feel the same way that I was feeling, to get into the life because of all the benefits that obviously we know about. And that's how DDF came to be. I started to improve myself, learn. I upgraded my academic qualifications. Beyond that, I took a lot of certification courses, very intense certification course, not the one that you go and do 6 weeks. This was like I think the minimum is 2 years. So
Wow.
and I have a lot of those and the learning never ends basically. So till today I'm still learning, I'm still upgrading my skills, I'm still upgrading my knowledge. So I hope that qualifies as it's a very boring
Yes,
story.
and that is
But
amazing and actually very holistic. You gave us both the backstory and now the present story. You know what I really want to ask? The importance. What is the importance of nutrition in our overall health and well-being, particularly for women, of course, because Empower Her is just all about her.
okay, so I would say that first of all, food is medicine, and we underestimate the importance of food. We have transitioned to an age where there's just too much product. We see so many things on the shelf. Things have become, should I say, increasingly, food has become increasingly unsafe than what it used to be before. And I think that if we were focusing on our nutrition, a lot of people just eat whatever is available to them. The convenience of these foods, everything that was created or invented to date was made to save time. People are trying to buy time, and it's the
Yes.
same thing with food. So with,
Somebody
with
here
the
is
with
guilty of
convenience foods
that.
being readily available, fast food and blah blah blah, everybody wants the quickest way to eat. Nobody's conscious about what it is that they're putting in their body and how that contributes to their health. When it comes to women in particular, women have so many issues from fibroids to PCOS to hormonal changes. First of all, in a day alone, a woman experiences multiple hormonal changes, multiple mood changes throughout the day. But when it comes to a man, the same way they woke up is the same way they go to bed. There's literally no change. So the way that we eat, the way that we approach nutrition, the foods that we put in our bodies affects, our health. It affects our cycle health. It affects our hormone health. It affects our mood. So many things. A lot of women suffer from PMS, which is like the one that so many people can relate to. But I cannot relate to that, at least not anymore. And I know of a lot of people
Wow.
who are living this lifestyle with me that don't experience PMS anymore. So something as simple as PMS could be history for you if you understand food and how that contributes to your physical health. So I think that is one of the things that is underestimated about nutrition. I would say also that I haven't had so many things that used to be a norm. There used to be a time I used to have malaria every 3 months. That's like history. I haven't had malaria in years. I think it's easy for people to catch common cold. It's easy for people to catch this and that, and it's because nobody is mindful about what they eat. I think that's where the conversation should really start from our nutrition. Yeah.
I felt it personally when you said that some people just they don't want to put in the effort, they want fast food, they don't want stress. Ah, I cannot remember giving you a history of my life. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you shaking this table? Okay, since you have already blown the whistle on us, on me and people like me out there, how can we now as women, how can we make nutritional choices? And of course, all of this is to enhance our health and our vitality, because I remember what you said earlier, how you couldn't really you weren't all that physically active because of your health issues, your weight and all of those things. So how can we make smarter nutritional choices to enhance our health?
I think the first thing is information, and that's why I do my best to put that information out there. I think that ignorance is one of the biggest killers in of our time. You get, and it's not because people don't it's not because people don't want to go after the proper information. It's just that people are fed a whole bunch of things. Advertising is always in our face that why don't you buy this instead of this? Cook noodles in 2 minutes. Cook this in 1 minute. So these are the things that the information that is mainstream is what people would gravitate towards. So we need to counterbalance that with accurate information that people can actually stand by. So like living a healthy lifestyle, modifying your lifestyle is not as difficult or expensive as people think. It's just
Okay.
first of all understanding what these foods do. When we're all in primary school, we all learned about, well, we were taught the six classes of food. We know protein, we know carbohydrate, we know each of these foods and their roles. And many of us just have it at the back of our heads. We don't know what that translates to. We don't know that even when it comes to carbohydrate, there are types. There are some that we should even, come close to. We should understand that our bodies, when our body sees these foods, and I'm going to give you a very practical example. So it's not that I'm just speaking
Okay.
out of my head.
Okay.
Um, the way that our body interprets foods from different sources matter. So understanding food, the one you have access to, rice, beans, all the things you have access to, understand them. I'm not saying, oh, don't eat cake, don't eat pizza. I eat all these things. It's just I understand these things. I know what they do to my body. I know what they give to my body. I'm able to create that balance. A lot of people don't know how to create that balance, and that's where they falter. So people don't know, even when they are sick, the types of foods that they should eat if they have a headache or if they are super stressed. A lot of people don't have this information. So it starts by, first of all, understanding the foods that you have access to and the roles that they play. Complex carbohydrates like beans, your whole grains. You have like your rice, obviously, brown rice or local rice. I'm not saying that white rice is bad. It's just that it has less fiber than the other foods. And we all know, we've been taught about fiber. We know what roughage is, the role that they play in our digestive health. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
we know the role of protein, you get, we know the role of fat and oil. We should be able to identify which fat is healthier, because when it comes to fat is a very, very important food group, because that's what helps with our hormone balance. It helps with our sexual health. It helps with reproductive health. It's very, very important. But if you eat the wrong type of fat, you're just affecting your cholesterol levels. So these are certain things that people need to understand, people need to know, and information is not far away from us. We can Google. Do you understand? You need to make sure that
Yes.
at the end of the day, all the food that you have eaten, you have to try. There's what we call tracking your macros. What are your macros? We have macronutrients and we have micronutrients. Your macronutrients are the protein, carbohydrates, and fat, and your micronutrients are vitamins and minerals. Now, your macronutrients needs your micronutrients in order to convert. So you see that many people, even though they tell you, "Oh, I'm not eating much, I'm adding weight," it all boils down to the structure of the foods they're eating. Your food, the foods that you eat, affects your insulin health. It affects your metabolic health. It affects the digestive processes in itself. So if you go about it the wrong way, even if you're not eating much, you may just be converting to fat because your body really doesn't know what to do with those foods. But depending on the structure of those foods, you see that your metabolic, when you eat food, you should be energized. I tell people, if you eat and you're feeling sleepy, something is wrong.
Oh,
When you eat
wow.
food, you should be energized. You understand? So the structure of the foods you're eating has a role to play in how insulin responds to it, how your metabolism responds to it, how it converts and what it does, how it also nourishes your body. And absence of micronutrients is a cry for help uh, where the food is concerned. So you need your fruits, you need your vegetables. And even with fruits, you can overdo it. And with vegetables, you can also go about it wrongly. So they still like, it's just understanding and research. The truth of the matter is that, like I told you when we had a conversation before, coming on this platform, that these
Mm.
are very, very wide topics. They on the surface they are very complicated. If we're talking about this concept, the ordinary person would not understand it. It's not something that you can finish in a few minutes, because you have to actually break it down to something that the average person can
Can
relate to.
understand.
You have to bring up the examples of those foods. You have to, so that people can see that it's actually not complicated. But the more we keep talking about it on the surface level, it feels complicated. So the advice I would give in the interest of time is, Google is not far from you. But even when you're researching information on on the internet, you need to know how to research information, because sometimes you go online, all these blogs, they bring out information, they lie to you. Do you go down to their sources? Because when I read things, if a blog posted something, first of all, you need to know, does this blog have authority? You understand? You need to check. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
for instance, if you
Mm-hmm.
see information from NCBI, or there are some platforms you see information, you know that, okay, these are
Is actually
research
credible.
platforms. They are well researched, they are well quoted. When you go to all these blogs, they just tell you, drink clove because clove does this. Based on what? You have to go to the bottom of that particular publication or whatever, or blog post. You have to check each of those studies that they put there to see if they are just lying to you, and then putting studies that don't make any sense, that don't even relate to what they're talking about. There's a lot of false information out there. So you need to also know how you confirm the information that you want to rely on, and be sure that nobody's deceiving you. But all in all, you need to really learn how to use your phone. A lot of people also read information on the preview. When you search something on Google, they bring like a preview. So you don't get the full context because you didn't open it to read the full thing. So they just tell you, hey, it's this, you don't want to know why.
Yeah.
When they tell you, okay, for instance, if you go online, they say fasting may be beneficial. There's a may. May is an English word. It doesn't denote certainty. So why is it saying may? Open it, they'll tell you it hasn't been confirmed yet. So most of those claims that they put out there, there's no scientific backing. These are just anecdotal evidence from people expressing their wishes, how something happened to them, or who knows if it's true. Do you understand my point? But you know,
Yes.
the content market is a very big market. These are people that sell content online. They have to put up blog posts because that's how they make a living for their company. So you have to be careful. Read English, like understand English. When you see may denote that there is
Possibility,
no
but there's
certainty.
no
So
guarantee.
when you exactly, so when you open it, you would see that they will definitely put a disclaimer. What would that disclaimer be like? They'll tell you there is no scientific backing. That's a disclaimer. But they've given you the information that is mainstream. But now they're telling you, oh, some people, you know, it may do this, but there's no proof yet. It's still
Yes.
getting studied. But
Yes.
nobody wants to go in to actually get the content and the full gist. They just read the preview and they make a decision. So it doesn't make sense to go about your life like that because you could make costly mistake. When it comes to life and death, I always tell people, um, there are a lot of people out there that tell people to do this and do that. It's very, very important for you to ask questions. First of all, you have to be sure that the person that you're working with is certified in that area. I've had a lot of clients that when they come to me, they ask me a question, and that question came out of an experience that they've had with another coach. And I'm honestly shocked. I'm honestly surprised because one of the first things you learn, if they actually learn or they went somewhere to learn, is that you don't even do things like this. So sometimes it's just so shocking. So are these people that just practice something on themselves, it worked for them, and now they have a page with 2 million followers and they are confusing the public, harming the public. These are people's lives we're talking about. So I think it's really not that. I think I've gone off question. I don't know what I'm talking about right now.
No, no. Everything you're saying
But
makes
I'm just trying
sense.
to say it's wide, it's holistic, it's major. So start small. So maybe I should now give one of those examples.
Yes,
When you
please.
take and I'm going to talk about it in the interest of health and also with regards to weight management because that's one of the major issues, weight, right? So let's take beans for example, and let's take a piece of cake for example, and we're going to look at it in the context of calories, right? So let's assume a piece of cake has 300 calories, just a tiny wee bit piece of cake has 300 calories, right? And you have, let's say this is the size of the cake and this is 300 calories. That's an example. And you have a
Okay.
cup of beans that is the same 300 calories. Another example. If you cook and eat a cup of beans, you would feel like you have eaten. But
Yes.
there's no human being that can eat a piece of cake and feel like they ate anything, right?
Yeah.
So with regards to satisfaction, is a loss. Then when you talk about insulin health, it's still a loss because now beans has fiber. Fiber is going to improve your insulin sensitivity, which means you're going to burn energy, as opposed to cake that is literally sugar, is a simple carb. It breaks down almost immediately. The entire thing gets sent into your bloodstream. If it's not used up, it's converted to fat. As opposed to complex carbohydrate that you get from beans, it breaks down slowly. The energy gets released into your bloodstream as you need it. And because it's in its whole form, not everything will convert. So you may absorb just 200 calories out of the entire 300 you ate in beans. The rest not going to break it because it's in its whole form you get. So it's not going to break down fully. Your body is also going to spend more energy trying to break down beans. So even the digestion process is going to take energy as opposed to the one that is not taking energy. So you converted less calories. You affected your insulin for the better. Your colon health, by virtue of fiber being there, your digestive health is better because anytime you don't eat fiber and you go to the toilet to pass through, it's almost like I don't know if you've had yogurt from a bottle. When you finish drinking the yogurt, there's like leftover yogurt in like the inside the bottle. That's how it is when you go to toilet, you don't eat fiber, you have leftover shit, just creating free radicals, oxidative stress, so many things that are affecting your health. With fiber, you get to sweep out all that. You have a clean digestive system. You're not bloated unnecessarily. So you get digestive health. You get metabolic. It has better impact on your metabolic health. It has better impact on your insulin. It has better conversion rate when it comes to calorie conversion. It would also keep you fuller it would help you to manage your cravings better. There's just so many things you can think about. Do you understand? So, but when
Yes.
you depend on other, when foods are structured, when you eat poorly structured foods, which means foods that don't have nutrients. Also, beans in itself has minerals that helps with the conversion. You know what I told you about how you need micronutrients to properly convert macronutrients.
Yes.
So if your body is functioning properly, so I eat like more than so many people. You understand? What people don't understand is that I see gym girls. Gym girls eat a lot. It's not this one that you are saying, oh man, because I'm fasting, I'm saying you don't know anything about food.
I
Because if you understand
understand.
food,
I understand. I'm bigger than you, and I
exactly,
guarantee that I don't eat as much as you do.
you don't eat. I've already eaten 3 times today. It's 12 o'clock.
And I've not
Or
eaten
it's
once
52.
today.
Exactly. I've only eaten 3 times a day. Also, the more muscle mass you build, when it comes to exercise, people don't know that exercise is a science. Everybody goes to the gym, or maybe they don't go to the gym. You want to do 1,000 skips, you want to do aerobics, you think you're losing weight. That's not the best approach. Everything in this life is not about working hard, it's working smart.
Smart.
First of
Yes.
all, get knowledge. That's why I said if I'm going to advise any lady, I'll say get knowledge. If you don't get knowledge, you will suffer. You will just be suffering for this weight that is very simple to get, this body that is very simple to get. You'll be running helter skelter. You want to do what you think is right. This is one will tell you do 10,000 skips, come and do where this challenge or whatever. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
These things are really simple if you first invest your time either understanding the process or working with a coach that understands the process. When I work with my clients, there is a whole bunch of orientation. Like we will talk for like I want you to understand it, not just do it because I said do. For
Yeah.
many times you work with this coach, they don't tell you do this, do this. They don't tell you why. Everybody that works with me, they know all these things about food. They know it's kind of like an education thing more than anything. Because even if you don't come back, I don't want to ever have a reputation that, oh, I worked with somebody and then after a while the person adding weight back. It's not possible. I want you to lose fat and let your fat loss be permanent. It cannot happen if you don't understand what you are even doing. If you don't understand the food and why you are eating it. If you don't understand the type of exercises I'm recommending and why you are exercising that way. It's the only way that if you even now add consistency to that, you can get your results and then maintain those results long term. So the
Yes.
first thing I would advise every woman to do when it comes to living a healthy lifestyle or modifying their lifestyle or with regards to nutrition or whatever is get knowledge, understand. That's the first thing.
You are spitting pure fire. Even when you talked about teaching you understand it, even don't just do it because I'm asking you to do it. It applies to me, but not in health, but in my learning process. Explain it to me. Don't just tell me that 2 plus 2 is 4. Explain to me how we got to 4. Explain to me how 2 plus 2 works. That way I can always apply that knowledge. And even if you ask me 3 plus 1, I don't need to know that 2 plus 2 is 4 to know that 3 plus 1 is 4, because I already understand how everything works. So just like you said, in weight management, if we understand how to calculate our macros, how to check, how to even the type of food, especially for our bodies, especially as women, it will be easier for us not just to manage our weight, but to manage it over time. And I'm so happy that you talked about weight management. I'm so happy that you talked about it, because it is a key concern for a lot of women. And you're looking at one right here. Is a key concern. So what I want to ask, you've already mentioned quite a bit, and I have been taking notes. And ladies out there, I hope that you also are taking notes. But Didi, I would also like to ask, are there other effective strategies for women to achieve and of course to maintain a healthy weight that you would like to add to that?
Um, I don't think I have much to add to that except I would say that, and this is where most women miss it. A lot of people are in a hurry to achieve something, and the problem with Appian Way is that it is laden with thieves and robbers. If you're a lot of people, they just want to lose weight that they have piled over decades. They want to get rid of it in months. Come on. Yes, whatever strategy, whatever drastic strategy that you employ is gonna work for you. But guess what? You're gonna be right back at square one. I've seen a lot of women, they go through yo-yo cycle of losing weight and then adding it back,
Adding
or
it
losing weight and then
double.
adding it back. Come
Adding it
on.
back
Why
double.
don't you follow a lifestyle approach? Even when people are doing it the right way, they still go about it the wrong way. Like when people are doing the right thing, sorry. For instance, when it comes to dieting, let's assume, they're trying to I don't really propagate a diet culture. So let's just say when it comes to nutrition. So let's say they have a sound meal plan, but then they are very excessive with like the calorie restriction. And maybe they are working out 6 times a week and they are doing a bunch of meaningless exercises, jumping over the place like a frog, and then they lose, so like an ample amount of weight within the shortest possible time. You cannot sustain it. I tell people anything you cannot sustain till you die, don't bother. An average person can stick to working out 3 times a week. That's the sweet spot. If I tell you to work out 3 times a week, you can sustain it till you die. But you will not be able to sustain working out 6 times a week. You can do that for a period of time, but you're going to get burnt out. You're going to get tired. It's going to get exhausting. You're going to have like changes in your routine.
Distractions.
Anytime your routine changes and you're not able to keep up that momentum,
Because life
you
will
start
keep
to
on
lose
happening.
you start to lose the progress you have made. So, but if you structure your workout that you're working out 3 times a week, even if it's 2 times a week, that you can stick to. And then when it comes to calorie restriction, I tell people, and I'm going to give like the best approach now. Let's say for your first of all, know your BMI. Even though BMI is not very well, it's not relevant to some people. Like for someone like me that has like okay, let's start from the beginning. When I talk about weight management, I'm really not talking. You notice that anytime I say weight management, when I won't talk about loss, I'll say fat loss. You never hear me say weight loss
Yes.
because weight loss and fat loss they are two different things. Fat loss is what is advised. Doctors will tell you to lose fat. I mean, they will say lose weight too, but they are kind of they mean lose fat. These are terms that are used interchangeably, but they mean two different things. Fat loss is 100% different from weight loss because weight loss you're losing everything. You're losing your organ mass, you're losing your bone density, your muscle, you're losing precious aspects of your body composition that you don't want to lose. Meanwhile, what you wanted to do was reduce your body fat percentage. So losing body fat while retaining other precious aspects of your body composition follows a different strategy than doing weight loss and you start looking like skeleton or whatever. So many of them you will feel like crap, like you've lost weight but you feel like shit, or I don't know, it's just something, one thing or the other. Maybe you might like the way you look, you're getting compliments, blah blah blah. But come on, what you're doing, can you really do it forever? So when people want to go on a weight loss journey, the first thing to remember is don't be drastic. If you're going on a fat loss journey, don't be drastic. Think about making lifestyle improvements that you can sustain forever. When it comes to dietary changes, if for your current weight and height, like for your current BMI, obviously, even though BMI is not very reliable, that's the first place we start from before people start understanding their body composition and then it can be ignored. So when you know your BMI, you know, say, okay, for your current weight now, this you need like 2,500 calories to survive. I'll say 2,000 because 2,005 is kind of on the high side. So let's say for your current weight and height, you need 2,000 calories to maintain this weight that you want to drop, right? In order to now, lose some of this weight, you have to definitely eat at a deficit. So what a lot of people do, they're too drastic with their deficit. So they deficit to like 800 calories. How are they deficiting? A lot of deficit strategies, either they're doing OMAD, 1 meal a day, or intermittent fasting, or whatnot, or they're skipping meals or whatever it is to try to reduce their calorie. Every single all this strategy, everything is still calorie restriction. At the end of the day, still finding a way to eat less calories. And you can eat 5 times a day. I can structure a meal plan, 800 calories, the client is eating 5 times a day. That would be better for and I'm going to explain to you the differences of how that works. The quality of food again is more important
Than the
than the
quantity.
quantity. So if you're not getting in and if you're not getting in the proper structure of food you're supposed to get to retain other aspects of your body composition, you're at the risk of losing it. Even sometimes fasting can reduce like your bone density. You can lose bone mass. It can even lead to malnutrition if not done like with experts help. Do you understand my point? It's not something
Yes.
I encourage. I'm 100% against it, but to each their own.
Yeah.
It's not something that if you should even say stronger is doing you want to do it by all means. You need to make sure that you're working with a proper expert that will not do the one that 5 years down the line will start speaking English, because we will meet in front. We will see in the future. Then we can now know what you did to yourself 5 years ago. Then we can now start arguing the argue. So me, I don't even talk much. When I talk my own, everybody wants to come and argue. I just say what I want to say. When we meet in front, arguing. So the next thing you need to understand is that once you have been able to ensure that you are eating properly, because you can even still eat 5 times a day and eat rubbish. By rubbish, I'm not saying you're eating nonsense. You could still be eating healthy food, but it's not properly structured, it's not properly arranged, it's not properly mixed. When I put this for breakfast, I put this for lunch, and I put this for dinner, I explain why. There's a reason why it's like that. I've already calculated your entire macros. I've calculated, even your micronutrient requirements. I even know the days that you're exercising, like when you eat, how you eat, what you eat. They play a very big role. Do you understand? So because it's complex for people, I do the work and then I explain it. It now looks so simple. They're not able to understand it. Something that they can now do, even without those foods that I've put there. You cannot even know, okay, if you're not even eating something else that is not there, because you understand why I did it that way, it's easy for you to help yourself to put together what you want to put
Yes.
together exactly. So the first thing is, as a woman, that if you're struggling with your weight or whatever, you need to understand that fat loss and weight loss are two
Two
different things.
different things.
What you want to do is reduce your body fat percentage so that you don't cost your health what you shouldn't cost your health. So you don't affect your reproductive health. So you don't affect your hormone health. So you don't affect so many things that has to do with you. And so that you will still retain some of your sexy. Because there's no woman that wants to lose weight that wants to go. People still want to look like they are having, they look like, everybody wants to look like a man. Anyway, so you want to make sure that you're reducing your body fat percentage. That's the one that is more healthy. Yes, it may be slower, right? But it's the one that is more sustainable. And when you reduce your body fat percentage, you can be guaranteed that it's not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So for someone that goes about it the right way, creating balance. For it, like I told you, I said I eat all those things. I eat them, but I know what they do. I know what they contribute to my body. I know how I'm able to create that balance. If you understand how to create that balance, you can eat anything you want to eat. Obviously, with moderation, not because you'll be alive. I tell you, you can eat everything you want to eat. But like with certain kind of ground rules in play. Do you understand? So you will still
Yes.
be able to not over restrict. You would enjoy your life. You will not feel like you are beating yourself or you're punishing yourself, or every day you have to give yourself pep talk in order to do today's tasks. You will not feel like that. You would be able to do it in a very good pace. You will follow exercising, you will follow proper nutrition in a very good pace and with a very good strategy. What would have taken you 6 months with drastic measures to lose, it may take you a year, it may take you 10 months. You understand? But what you can be guaranteed is that you will not come back to that place that you were. Because anytime you do something drastic, you cannot sustain it and your body will fight back. I'm going to give you an example. Do you know that anytime you skip meals or anytime you fast, your body goes into reservation? Your body thinks that there's starvation, your body thinks that there's famine,
I remember
your
reading
body thinks that
something
there's
like
scarcity of
that.
food. And I'm going to give you an example. Are you or a Muslim? Because I know Christians and Muslims fast.
No,
Let's say they declared fasting.
I am Christian. I remember reading something like that, and how your body thinks that there's starvation in the land, and then it starts packing food for you.
To save, exactly. So if when you come out of that season of fasting, even if it's lettuce, you're eating morning, afternoon, night, you add that weight back. Your body will replenish. You want your body to fight back. You lost weight under duress. You did not lose weight. You didn't make your body, you made your body feel like something dangerous is happening. Your body entered into survival mode and endured that process of weight loss. You are not happy. You think it's not pile it back. It's gonna pile it back on. You understand my
And then the
point?
next
I
time
don't
he
know if you've
sees food, he's
noticed,
thinking,
if
I
you've
don't know
ever
when
done
I'm
like
going to
any.
see the next. And then he starts packing it for you, because I don't know if after
Of
seeing
course,
this one, if I'm going to see another.
of course, it's true. Oh my gosh, like you already understand. Like your body thinks like an Igbo man, like an economist. You understand? He doesn't want to run out of. You understand? So Monday you fasted. Let's say they've declared you fast. Monday you fasted. You're feeling strong on the first day. Second day you're feeling strong. By day three you start to feel your energy will start to drop. Have you noticed that? When you're like on
Yes.
a Christian fast, a church fast,
Yes.
from the
Yes.
you fast to the point that even when you go to work, you can't even talk to anybody. You don't have energy. Do you understand? So that's how it is. So it's not as if your body does not have the capacity. What your body did was
It's
it slowed down your
preserving.
metabolism. Your body can handle skipping meals once in a while. That's what your body thought when you fasted Monday and Tuesday. You just thought maybe one thing. When it becomes habitual, like you don't do saute, it will slow down your metabolism. Do you understand? And it now becomes like increasingly difficult. Yes, definitely your body adapts. So after that period of difficulty, you're going to enter a period of ease where you likely feel better and whatever. That's your body still optimizing energy expenditure. Your body is optimizing how it wants to use your fat store because it's taking majority of the energy expenditure from your fat store. So it's optimizing how it's using that energy. Before you know, by the end of everything, you start to nobody can fast till they die. Do you
Yes.
understand? So when you come
Yeah.
out of that season and you start to eat, even if it's one time extra, like even if you start eating two times as opposed to that once, what happens is that your body will start to replenish because you have convinced your body that you live in a place where there's famine. Your body does not want that thing to happen again. Your body wants to prepare for the next season of famine. So what your body wants to do now is to store energy and store energy and store energy because it's imagining that one day famine is gonna hit again. Everybody has their set weight. Your body will always return you back to your set weight.
And the
It
thing is
takes
that
a series of smart manipulation to get your body to a point of a new set weight where your body is not thinking about bringing you back to where you were before. And you only do that by understanding your body and cooperating with it, not by forcing your body to let go of that fat under duress.
and the thing
So
is
the
that this
first thing
thing
is
is not
don't lose
even
weight fast. Don't
sustainable.
lose fast.
It's not even sustainable.
Exactly.
You force yourself to
Exactly.
lose weight now. What happens next week?
Exactly.
You force yourself, okay, you know what? I'm not going to eat for 1 week. Let me see how this.
Mhm.
You are not going to be able to keep up for a long time. Now, I've gotten some messages from people who they have some questions that they would like to ask. But before then, in about a minute or so, can you tell us what you think about portion control and how it can help in maintaining a healthy weight and a healthy life? Because we all understand. Um, Coach Didi said that she does not like fasting. So how about portion control?
Everybody needs portion control. I till today I still practice portion control. I think that I'm going to start from, should I say, childhood conditioning. That's something that a lot of people need to break out of because I too grew up in a household where if they serve you food, you have to finish it. You understand? You must finish it. Whether you're full, you're not full, you have to finish it. And as much as that was made to discourage waste, I think there are other ways that waste could have been discouraged. Maybe storing the food for later, eating it for later instead of forcing you to finish it. Because of that, a lot of people have grown up with the ideology that if they don't eat until their stomach is tight, they have not eaten. That's not proper. If you eat, you should feel okay. But you know how we are now, until our belly don't gauge, everywhere don't gauge, no one calm down. So I think that's one of the things, one of the mentality that we need to break out of when we are approaching portion control. Because if you're approaching portion control, one thing you need to admit is that you're never going to ever feel like your belly don't gauge, but you will be satisfied, you'll be okay. Do you understand?
Okay.
So
So
break
portion
yourself out of that
control,
mentality.
thumbs up.
Secondly, structure of foods. Earlier, I talked about tracking your macros. A lot of people think that they can eat anything they want as long as they eat small of it. That's babadash. That's like, who told you people? Who gave you that
We
concept?
read it
Who lied to you?
online.
Who lied to you? Who lied to you? You just anything I want to eat as long as it's small. When I eat it, no. When it comes to portion control, this is how a typical plate should look like, right? I'm going to use like the plating method because
Oh.
obviously tracking your macros is a lot of measurements. You have to 20 grams of this, that grams of that. Not everybody does gram things in their kitchen, except fitness people. A lot of fitness people do that because we want these gains, want to grow these thighs, want to grow this ass. But that's besides the point. So let's just assume this is a plate. Oof, this is not round enough. But let's just say this is like a circular plate,
Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
So you want to make sure that half of that, let me use this. You want to
Okay.
make sure that half like this half section is vegetables and fruit.
Oh wow.
At
Okay.
least 70% vegetables, 30% of fruit. The other half, you divide it into another two. One side will be your carbohydrate, one side will be your protein. You want to make sure that when you make your hand into a fist, that should be the size of your carbohydrate, which means the section of that plate don't fill up that quarter part of that plate. You want to make sure that you keep it loose, you keep it light. Then your protein. Two, your protein, you can fill up that whole section, but your carbohydrate don't fill up that section. So that's what it should be. That's what a balanced plate that has your macro and your macronutrients should look like. Do you understand?
Wow.
If you have a meal split like that, 3 to 5 times a day, you will not even be able to even eat that size of food 3 to 5 times a day. You might just eat 3 times a day or 4 times a day. Do you understand? Over time, your body adjusts because these are live organs. They can expand, they can add weight, and they can also lose weight. So your stomach is going to adjust. You're going to unlock a new level of satisfaction that you didn't think you could unlock in your life. You would eat a food, you eat a size of food that one time in your life it used to look like this is like warm up, this is snacks, and it's going to fill you up. Do you understand? Obviously, the size of your feast and the size of my feast is very different. That's why your when you plate your food and you plate my food, yours might look a little bit bigger than mine. But for your size, it is still a deficit requirement. What now boils down to the food itself is the quality of food that is on that plate. Let's start with protein. Your protein should be lean protein. Lean protein is protein without the fats. And it boils down to the preparation method of those proteins. For instance, if you are frying your protein, don't fry protein again. You should grill your protein or boil them. When you grill protein, it draws out all the excess oil from it. Similar to when you boil, it draws out all the excess oil that goes into the stock. People's mistake is they will boil chicken, all the oil that's going to the stock, they'll now use the stock, all the stock and cook stew again. So all the fats that you evaded, you will now use it and cook again and eat it in your food. Okay, continue.
Coach,
so lean protein. So the way that you cook the protein would show, okay, maybe if you really want to take it, even if, because me, I cannot eat chicken or turkey that doesn't have skin on it. Me, I eat mine with the skin. But some people take away their skin. Obviously, everybody's requirement is different. I don't think I need to, but I grill all my protein. I don't like eating boiled meat, boiled chicken or whatever. I boil my meat, but when it comes to chicken, fish, I like it smoked or grilled. So I just throw things in my oven occasionally, all the time, basically. When it comes to carbohydrate, you need to make sure that carbohydrate, like it's complex carbohydrate. You know why? The carbohydrate density in complex carbohydrate is around 30%. I'm going to give you an analogy. If you take one slice of white bread versus one side of wheat bread. Now, disclaimer, I cannot for the life of me eat wheat bread because wheat bread tastes like cattle.
But somebody said it and it was not best. Somebody said it and it was not best.
Thank God I'm a bread fan. But if all the times I've ever eaten bread is white bread, but I know how to eat my food. I'm just saying it's just an example so that they won't say I'm forced to eat wheat bread. It's still possible that you won't like every type of, like, there's no way you can get 100%, but understand it first and then know where you can do your plus and minuses. But let me just give this example. You know that wheat bread is like whole wheat that they just grinded up the wheat and then they use that to make bread. So there's a lot of fiber in it. But white bread, they've taken away all the chaff, all the fiber, everything. So what you have is the flour. Do you know how much flour it would have taken to make that one slice of white bread, as opposed to the one slice of wheat bread? If we are to break down that wheat bread, how much flour content is actually in that wheat bread? Is it not very little? Because 70% of it will be the fiber, will be the chaff, right? Yeah. So by eating that complex carbohydrate, which is like the wheat bread, what have I done? I have more fiber. I have less carbohydrate density. So this one, even though they'll tell you 100 calories here, 100 calories here, two of them might be 100 calories, but the wheat bread is doing you better because the wheat bread has lower carbohydrate density as opposed to the white bread. Yeah. So when you combine the quality of the food as with regards to structure, you combine that with proper like portion control, like you said, like the way you have it plated, the way you control your portions and all of that. You see that even if me, I plated my own correctly, I portioned my own correctly, you portioned your own correctly, depending on the structure of my food, I may benefit more weight loss wise, health wise than you. So it's not necessarily about I'm eating whatever I like, I'm just eating small of it. The structure of food is also, the short is more important than the size, quantity, basically. Yeah. So I hope that was.
You have been dropping wisdom back to back, and you have attacked from the portion I eat, you have attacked to the bowl I used to dish my food, and that was not enough for you. Of course, you had to attack the method of preparation. Well done. Well done. But before we proceed, let's pause to acknowledge some of the questions and the reflections from our viewers. And of course, you guys keep them coming on our social media platforms. I got these ones in my email. Of course, if you want to send me an email, you can always send me an email at bestwatchingAmerica60@gmail.com. And here on the program, we'll try as much as we can to handle your questions, to answer them, and every other thing. Okay, Coach Didi, I think you are really going to like this one. So this person said, "Dear Best, I have been struggling with emotional eating. Do you have any advice on how to break this habit and develop a healthier relationship with food?" Just in about say a minute or less.
I think that when it comes to emotional eating, you have to find it's not really the eating that is the problem, it's the emotional part that is the problem. If you don't find the root cause of why you're feeling like that or whatever it is that's putting your life pressure and stress, it may be difficult. So I would say in this case, maybe you need some form of therapy, you may need like an emotional support coach or something
Yeah.
to help you to navigate those feelings so that you don't use food as an escape. At that moment, food might be an escape. I did a content recently about food addiction, and it all boiled down to mental and psychological and emotional impact. So that food at that moment is just kind of like a coping mechanism, is an escape for that particular feeling. You have to address the feeling first. So that's my there's really no physical you deal with uh mental problems with mental solutions. You get there's nothing I
Yes.
can tell you to
Yes.
specifically eat or do except solve your emotional problem, speak to an emotional support coach, navigate those feelings, and you should be fine. I think basically that's that.
Thank you, Coach Didi, for answering that question the way you did. And I am actually thankful that you answered it that way, because you know that very recently we just celebrated, or commemorated rather, World Mental Health Day. So this is more a mental issue. So what you should do is to be more mindful or check the root cause, what is causing your mental distress. So probably talk to a therapist. Don't feel any type of way. You could share with a loved one, a friend, this is what you are going through. Because when you tackle the root cause of the issue, it will be easier for you to deal with the eating part of it. Okay, this person said, "Hi Best. I have been hearing a lot about the keto diet for weight loss. Is it a sustainable approach for women, or are there better alternatives?" I'll leave that to Coach Didi.
In the interest of time, I'm just going to say no.
Okay?
The short answer is no. I don't want
No?
to go into the long answer
Okay.
unless time permits me. If time permits me, I'll go into the long answer. I'll break down the science
we
for
we
you.
will come
I'll
back.
let
We'll
you
come
know.
back to this. Probably, obviously not
So
today,
no.
but we are going to have a part two of this so that you will really break into that. But thank you for that short answer. She said no. Okay, this person said, "Dear Best, I appreciate the way you empower women with knowledge. Aww. With knowledge on health and wellness. Your show is a beacon of light in our quest for a healthier lifestyle." Thank you. Thank you to Joy. I'm not going to mention surname because it's supposed to be anonymous. Okay, this person said, "Hello, Best. I've hit a plateau in my fitness journey. How can I reignite my motivation to continue on the path to better health and weight management?" Of course, Coach Judy, over to you
Okay.
in about a minute or
So
less.
hitting a plateau is very, very common. It's something that almost everybody in one form of journey or the other, whether you're the weight gain journey, weight loss journey, blah blah blah. Everybody will hit a plateau, but you can actually plan to evade it ahead of time. I think that that's how I structure my programs for my clients, because you have to think about it and then you already employ methods not to hit that plateau. And I'm going to give you an example. I think I was driving at this before and then I got sidetracked with other conversations. When you're on a deficit, remember when I was saying, oh, you're supposed to be eating at 2,000 calories, for instance, and then you deficit to so on. So let's say you deficit to 1,005. So you're eating, you split that 1,500 calories to about 3 or 4 meals a day, for instance. And obviously, the shortage of 500 is going to be coming from your fat stock. You get so It doesn't come once. It's just, oh, you've eaten and maybe you're doing some activity, your body needs to compensate. It knows that food is coming again. So you'll be happy to use some extra energy. If you continue to eat at 1,500 calories steady for 7 days, 14 days, your body will slow down your metabolism. It will say, we're outputting energy at a 2,000 calorie level, but she's eating at a 1,500 calorie level. If we continue like this, she's going to die because we're going to use up our fat store. So let us adjust her metabolism. So your energy output you won't even know that your body has adjusted. You just see that you can't lose any weight. Do you
Okay.
understand? So
Okay.
what you do is you have to zigzag it. You understand? So if you eat like 1,500 calories for about 5 days, like let's say in a space of 1 week, you should have 1 to 2 days where you come up. So if you're eating 1,500 calories, sometimes you eat like 1,9. You don't necessarily have to get to the 2,000 you were eating before, but you can come up to like 1,8 or 1,9. It keeps things interesting. It keeps before your body start guessing that, oh, this person is not eating enough. He has not been eating enough over a period of time. You create that balance up and then back to deficit and then up again and then back to deficit. You would never plateau until you get to the end of your journey.
I
Also, when it
feel
comes to
like
physical activity, switching things up with your physical activity as well. Not too quickly, but like every 3 months, incrementally challenging your body in a properly structured way because your body likes routine. So
I
that's how.
I feel like this
Maybe
is
we'll talk
also
about strategy for plateau another time.
I feel like this is another large one, and that is all the more reason why we have to have another part of another part of this particular topic. Okay, this person said, "Hi, Bess. I just wanted to say that your show has inspired me to make healthier choices both in my finances and in my health. Your guests are so motivating. Keep up the fantastic work." Thank you so much for that. That's as much questions as we can take today because we have so many more. That is as much as we can take today. Probably when we come for the part two, we can take more. Now we are out of time. Thank you so much for still being here with us. But before we say goodbye to Coach Didi, I would like you to just tell us what advice or key takeaways would you like to offer to women who are striving to improve their health and vitality through nutrition and weight management, just in a minute.
Oh my gosh, I think I've given that advice already earlier.
Yes, yes.
I would just say, like I said before, seek information. Make sure that you're following. Another thing is, who do you follow? Who are you listening to? Because people don't know that information poisons as much as it uplifts. So who are you for? When you open social media, what's on your timeline? Make sure that you're connected to people that give you proper information daily that can go to expand your knowledge base over time. So today, like if you see people that I follow, I don't follow any people just vibes on vibes. No, no, no. I try to follow people that I learn from, that can motivate me, that can teach me, that can even, help me, like that can, when I look at it, I get motivated to want to go and study more on a particular thing. That's one step to expanding your knowledge over time. But this is not something that you learn once and stop. You understand? So, and seek knowledge, understand your own body. The more you study for yourself, the more you try things, the more you do that. And I think the most important of everything is to have a coach. I feel kind of weird saying this all the time. Even when I say knowledge, 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 what I actually mean is actually getting help. This is not something you can do by yourself. Even I always used to say, even though my husband said they don't tell me, I say me, I have a coach. Every coach has a coach. Even fitness trainers have people.
As we close this episode, remember that the pathway to Astute Nutrition and women's weight mastery is achievable, fueled by knowledge, determination, and a supportive network. Your health and your well-being are worth every effort. Now, that brings us to the conclusion of today's episode of Empower Her. We appreciate our guests and, of course, the viewers and everyone who joined us. Stay empowered, stay in your prime of health, and keep reaching for your zenith. Don't forget to stay connected with us on Facebook, Twitter, and our website at Spectrum T Online. You are welcome to reach out to me personally on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn at Best Nwachinemere, of course. And thank you so much. Until we meet again, stay empowered.